Good.
Michael, looking sharp today.
Yes, sir. I have a listing appointment this morning. Right after this, I'm on my way out the door.
Beautiful. What is, tell us real quickly what you're interviewing to list.
It's pretty nice home. It's got a pool in the backyard. It's in East Cobb, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. He's probably gonna want between $550 and $600 for it.
What's it worth? I don't really care what he wants. What's it worth?
Yeah, I'm still thinking like $575. I mean, that's my range. I was gonna give him.
Congratulations, sir. Where did that opportunity come from?
It came from a friend of mine who is a commercial agent, and this guy was, I think he may be a contractor for him. This guy does concrete work, and it was perfect timing because really the only days that he can meet are when it's raining. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Congratulations. So don't forget, these 2 things popped into my mind. I just want to make sure everyone hears these loud and clear. Okay, is the first thing that comes out of your mouth during that listing appointment should be an expression of gratitude.
Oh yeah.
Right. And the second thing that comes out of your mouth is to say, and I assume you know this, I'm just shouting it out for everyone else, right, is the fact that your intention is to make this the best experience he's ever had, right? And therefore, you need to get clarity on what that actually means to him.
Yep.
Right.
Got all my questions, 10 plus, all that.
Exactly. Good stuff. So you want to make sure, hey, in order to make this the best experience you've ever had, what is the most important thing that has to happen here, right? And whatever he says or she says, if it's slightly vague, go a little deeper. So if they're like, I want good communication. Good communication looks a little different for everybody. What does good communication look like for you? Right? Does that mean we text every hour on the hour? Does that mean we call once a week? What does that mean exactly?
Right on.
All right. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Wish me luck.
Luck. All right. Anyone else want to share anything?
Bill, I'm currently negotiating a contract that the home it was supposed to come back on the market. The buyer terminated, and I had contacted the listing agent yesterday just asking how the contract was going. She told me that the contract was falling through, so now we're negotiating. The home is listed for $209. Okay. Definitely needs work. My client is interested, and we put in an offer for $225, even though it needs even as much as a water heater as of right now. But
that's like the biggest issue you're saying?
As of right now, I mean, we haven't gotten the inspection. Like, we're just going through, trying to get the home under contract. But my thing is, now she's coming back asking if he would be willing to do $230. And I feel like her thought process is that once we get the inspection, we're going to try to negotiate down. And she's trying to get to a place where they're comfortable. And so I asked my client, I'm waiting on his response.
Yep.
I know 230 isn't that far off, and obviously we wouldn't want to lose a contract in my thought process over $5,000, but I feel like what she's doing is trying to put them at a comfortable mark. So then if we come back with these things, then she can be like, they negotiate the 10,000 down, then we're at 220.
Well, what is it worth? What's the data say it's worth?
So the comps are, I don't know if it's going to appraise for the 225 based on the comps. Like, it's kind of variable because a lot of those homes, they're maybe the 1990s, but they're not in as much disrepair.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I would in general. Well, first of all, welcome. This is Alexis. She has joined our KW office in PC as of a week ago or so. Plus, joined PC yesterday. So welcome. She's been in the business a little bit over a year, and comes with lots of great experience. She's actually one of the top producers down in the Midtown office of Metro Brokers. So congratulations and welcome aboard. Here's my generalized idea on this is we got to handle one thing at a time. So if you are negotiating with, if there's multiple offers, nothing else, the water heater doesn't matter, the appraisal doesn't matter, none of that stuff matters unless you win, right? So if you'd like to win, you just need to do whatever it takes to win, as long as you're, protected against an inspection issue or protected against an appraisal issue, right? So the first thing to focus on is just getting the deal, getting the contract, right? If you were the only one at the table, then in some ways you don't have a lot of power, because if you say, no, I'm not going at 2:30, they'll just say, oh, I'm listed, right? So you got to figure out where the kind of who's got the negotiation power, and if you guys have any, right? You also need to prepare your buyer, as I'm sure you know, and many of us know, say, hey, if this home doesn't appraise, then you're going to be asked to bring the difference in cash potentially if you want to move forward. Or they may require that to be in writing at contract time, right? You may have to make up an appraisal gap of $5 grand or 10 grand or 20 grand.
We have an appraisal contingency and they're fine with that. They're not negotiating that. So I feel comfortable. We have an appraisal contingency and finance contingency of 21 days.
So and you have a due diligence period?
Yep, of 7 days. And they're not disputing that.
Go under contract. You sort out the rest later. If your buyer thinks 2:30 is reasonable, go under contract.
Okay.
Okay. And then you deal with all the other crap later.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mean to dismiss
I get it.
a lot of the important stuff. I certainly know it's important, but none of it matters if we don't win.
Right.
Right. And if we have a chance to win while simultaneously protecting against an appraisal issue, including an appraisal gap, and the water heater, with all due respect, is the biggest problem, it's time to go under contract.
Okay.
You can get a water heater totally installed, the other one trashed, for $1,000, $1,100.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys.
Thanks.
Welcome aboard. Okay. I appreciate you guys tuning in today, because although the topic is probably a couple of days early, it might take you a couple of days to kind of re-prepare for how you're going to knock out the second half of May. So I want to remind you guys about a GPS that we created roughly 6 weeks ago. Okay, so remember, we came out and we said that we were, and I understand that not everyone committed to this, but I committed to sharing it with you, and I committed to coaching you to it. Okay, so this is what I want to review with you. We said that our intention was to close 6 transactions in the second quarter. 6 transactions in the second quarter. Okay, and what we decided to do, we don't need to go into that detail. The ways that we were going to close those 6 transactions, so close 6 transactions is the goal, that's the 1 in the 135 for the GPS, right? The 3 priorities, right, are appointments, database growth, and accountability. Appointments, database growth, and accountability. Okay, and then the 5 strategies are up to you, right? How do you intend to get the appointments based on your style of lead generation, or whether you want to talk to strangers or people you know, or network, or cold call, or Facebook ads, or whatever it may be. Your database growth, what is your intentionality around purposefully adding people to your database every single day? And then what accountability are you willing to introduce into your world to keep you on track, right? Or to improve, because many of us have not done 6 transactions in 3 months. Therefore, the behaviors that you're used to doing, right, that didn't get you 6 transactions in 3 months, in 1 quarter. And so if you actually want that, you're going to have to adjust your intentions a little bit. You're going to have to adjust your calendar, your behaviors, what you say yes to, what you say no to, etc. So I just want to remind you that we are like 2 or 3 days away from midway through that, right? And we all know that it's generally a 25 to 35 day time period of closing. So I'd venture to say that a lot of us are behind in this goal. Is that fair? Is that fair to say? Okay, so
Yes.
here is my recommendation for you. And I intentionally weighted our contest this way for a reason, which is your business will grow to the extent that your network grows or your database grows. Okay, which means we have 2 points for an appointment held, 3 points if you take it, but 4 points if you add somebody to the database, and 5 points if you add somebody to the pipeline. So it's unusually weighted towards growth of your database. So I don't like changing the goal, although I know you guys did not all agree to this. Okay. But what I want to do is let's recommit to growing your database at a super high level every single day. Okay. That is what is going to take you from having a business to like hoping that, you know, every single person that we meet with, right, wants to work exactly the way we do, right? So let me give you an example. Let's take Michael's listing appointment today. There's a chance that that guy will not be reasonable, right? There's a chance that that guy could be a complete jerk or a bigot or, you know, like anything, right? If Michael's got one person that's like hot and ready to go, all of his emotions and all of his like, you know, kind of feeling on the day is going to work around that guy's behavior. That guy shouldn't have that much control over Michael's emotions and day. You see what I'm saying? So if he walks in there and the guy's like, I want 650, and there's no data whatsoever that's anywhere close to 650, then he should just say, okay, well, I'll call you when it's worth 650. Have a nice day, right? And go prospect for other people that are more reasonable, right? So there's not many problems in real estate that can't be solved by more contacts, right? And more prospects. If I've got, like, I've said this a bunch of times, Alexis, you may not have heard this before. Gary Keller says, we have a tendency to hang on to poor prospects or poor clients, not poor financially, like mediocre is what I really mean, right? We have a tendency to hang on to mediocre clients because we have a lack of clients. And we have a lack of, or he said prospects, we have a lack of prospects. We have a lack of prospects because we've done a lack of prospecting, right? So if you want better clients, go get more clients, okay? If you want to have better conversations, if you want people that are willing to return your phone calls and show up on time and treat you with respect and follow your advice, the key to it all, guys, is to go get into a relationship with more people. The quality will show up when you have the quantity. I got to tell you, I know there's at least a couple of people on the call that have let a client go. Like, doesn't it feel pretty good?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, gosh, it feels amazing sometimes, right? Because we shouldn't have to put up with everyone's craziness, right? We are professionals. We are super well trained, right? We're en route to that. And our time is super valuable. So if somebody is going to completely blow us off, they don't deserve us, right? And they can go work with somebody who doesn't care as much as we do. Does that make sense? All right, what have you guys heard so far today? Give me an aha. One, somebody.
Building the
Come on.
database is the most important thing.
That's right. Okay, so what I have suggested for database growth, in this particular scenario, what I said is we wanted to add 60 people over the course of 60 days. Oh, I'm sorry. 180 people over the course of 108 over, what is this? I'm sorry. We want to add 60 people per month. 60 people per month. So typically I would say you're going to work around 20 days out of the month. So are you willing to commit to adding 3 people to your database every day. That's what work is. That's how you know you've worked that day. If you don't add 3 people to your database, right? And I know generally speaking, this is a little bit more aggressive than most of our goals. But as we said, most of us are a little bit behind. So are we willing to take it one more level higher and say, work for me is adding 3 people to the database every single day? That's going to make certain that you either make the calls or you meet people in the line at the store or contact a local business owner or reach out to a home vendor or post something cool on social media, whatever it may be. Our goal is to add 3 people to the database every day. In a perfect world, at least one of those will have an intention of buying or selling in the next 12 months, so we can call it a data or a pipeline. Does anyone believe here that that is an unreasonable goal?
Nope.
Okay, let's just do some really, really quick math. I'm doing it for the first time with you, okay? So if we add 3 people to our database every single day, and you attend the 36 touch class that Andy's teaching in like a week and a half, and you have a 36 touch plan in place to communicate with all these people strategically, and let's just assume your database is at 0 for a second, okay? If you add 3 people, we work about 250 days out of the year. So that's 750 people. We divide that by 16, and you should have 47 closings the following year. Now, at an average clip of, let's just call it $10,000, okay, you pay KW 18, you pay me 10. That leaves you with roughly $440,000. Chantrell, if I called you and said, I got a job for you, all you got to do is work 250 out of the 365 days. And when you work, all you got to do is add 3 people to the database and then communicate with them strategically. And I will pay you a net of $440,000. What is the first thing that pops into your mind?
When do I start?
Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing was like, I think you're lying to me. Prove it, right? Does this seem like, look, guys, I'm not lying. It's right here. Like, does anyone think that's crazy talk? That's the power of this business, okay? Because remember, 70%, and it's a little higher for sellers, it's close to like 72, 73%. Of prospects will will agree to work with the first person they meet. Okay, meaning you don't have to go compete with Mark Spain every time and Zillow every time and whoever every time. All you got to do is not blow your meeting, and 70% of the time they're going to agree to work with you. Okay.
Hey.
So
No. I'm looking for my the charger for my.
The quality will show up when you have quantity. So I want everyone to just hear this thought real fast. What I've said thousands of times in here is, if when you're about to go to bed, you should ask yourself a couple questions. Number 1, am I smarter than I was when I woke up today? Meaning, did I practice my scripts? Did I learn a new piece of technology? Did I go see some houses? Did I learn some stuff about negotiation? Did I learn a new tool, et cetera, et cetera? Am I smarter? Am I more confident? That's one. Second thing is, did I grow my database? And I'm going to ask each of you to commit to 3 additions every single day. Okay, 3 additions every single day. Now, a good thing that you might want to say is, great, what is my system for database ads, right? When I add somebody to the database, what do I do next? Okay, first thing I might do is write a handwritten note, just expressing gratitude for the time you spent with that person, letting them know that it would be an honor to be their resource for real estate information in the months and years to come, right? You might offer them something. Most likely you did have to offer them something to get their contact information, right? I'm going to connect you with this vendor, or I'm going to send you a neighborhood nurture, or I'm going to send you some data on your neighborhood or whatever. So obviously execute on the promise you made, right? And what Keller Williams teaches is what's called a 7 to cement exercise. So they hear from you 7 times. Okay, this is from the time you meet them, seven pieces of communication over the course of typically 7 weeks. Then they go into the full, I mean, they're already in the database, but then they go into the 36 touch. So the 7 touches are cementing the relationship, right? And making sure that you're top of mind. Then you move them into the 36 touch plan. Okay, so we'll go over some more detail on that. But bless you, the main takeaway I want you to hear today is we've got to recommit to growing our database every single day. That is what's going to move the needle. That's what's going to move the needle. Okay, because we might have some people in our database that we don't really want in our database because, quite frankly, we don't have fun hanging out with them. Is there anybody that wants to work with people they don't like working with?
No.
No. So let's go find so many people. We ain't got time for the people that are rude to us. Does that make sense? And we are rewarding database growth and pipeline growth more than anything else. Okay. Now, here's where the harsh part's going to start, y'all. Alexis, this is a little beyond how harsh I normally am. Okay. So
Okay.
you're jumping right in. We have 80 people in the group, and we all know not all 80 participate, but only 17 of you have taken an accounting of the first week of May. Okay, so how are we going to talk about accountability if we're not accounting anything? Does that make sense? So generally speaking, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if you had great numbers, you'd probably be proud to report them. Okay, so if you have not reported, I'm just trying to get a little bit more clarity on what's up with that, right? Is it because you're not tracking it on a daily basis? Is it because you don't have the 30 seconds time blocked into your calendar? Is it because you're avoiding the reality of the results? What is it? Okay, and you don't have to answer me today, but I just want to tell you, it's not serving you, right? If you're willing to account on your actions, created this amount of results. If you're not happy with this, we got to change this. It's that simple. There's no other way to discuss it. Okay. So I'm going to request of everyone to recommit to taking account of what the results of your activities are. There's no judgment here, right? Just so everyone knows, there are some people on this call that want to sell 20, 25, 30 homes. And there's some people on this call that are perfectly happy with selling 4. And I'm not here to tell you one number is better than the other. My goal and Candace's goal and the Market Center's goal is whatever you want, you get, right? Now, I don't care if your numbers are low. I just want to make sure they match what the goal is, okay? Because I think one thing we tend to do is maybe we don't want to report the numbers because we see that we're supposed to talk to 80 people and we only talk to 20. Okay. Well, if you got a problem, you can either ignore it or you can do something about it. Okay. And as your coach, it's my responsibility to remind you that those goals were important to you at one point in your life. So if the goals have changed, let's have a conversation about it. And let's quit staring at a number 80 if that's not your goal. If the number's 30, then so be it. Let's make sure that your lifestyle matches up with that amount of money, and then we're cool, right? What are you guys hearing?
Accountability and, being very clear on our goals and our actions and that they align one with the other.
That's right. That's right. Gosh, I do not want you to build a $100,000 lifestyle if you're only going to make 35,000. Right. And for those that only want to make 35,000, can I just teach you how to do it in like a month or 2, and then you can take the whole rest of the year off? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you one exercise here. Okay.
Hey, Bill,
Yes, ma'am.
while you're pulling that up, can I, because I'm all about incentives. Maybe
Okay.
could we
Make me a deal.
making you a deal? How about, because we've weighted everything, if we, not counting this week, but starting so that everyone's on a fair and even playing field.
Okay.
If you report by 6 p.m. on Sunday night, you get an extra 2 points. If you don't report, you don't. I mean,
How
there's
about if you don't report, you get like minus a couple points?
I would be down with that too.
I think the reward should be a little higher than 2 points, but I am definitely interested in something like that.
Yeah.
What's everyone think about that? Would that help?
I like it.
I think it's a
Definitely
great
an
idea.
incentive to report.
I agree. Guys,
Great idea.
like,
Brent.
I don't get it. I mean, look, I don't get anything. I don't get like kicks off of seeing y'all like report your numbers. This is all for you, right? I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't do GPSs and 4-in-1s or any of that kind of stuff until I became team leader. And then they're like, okay, you need to do this, this, and this, and this, and this is a standard. And if you don't do it, then you don't get to be team leader. I didn't have a choice anymore. You see what I'm saying? So you've now taken a responsibility to help members of the community build wealth through real estate, not to mention your responsibility to your family, right? So let's own it, right? Let's take responsibility. Let's really examine our behaviors. So let me think about that. But if it was me right now, I would say if you're reported, I'm going to say by 8:30 on Monday morning, because you may find some, maybe you're behind on your numbers at 8 o'clock on Sunday, and you need to go to Target to, find somebody in the aisle to talk to. So be it. So 8:30 Monday morning, if you have reported your numbers, you get an extra 50 points. Okay.
That's
I'm in.
very
All
generous.
right. Yeah, nobody who's not reporting their numbers is really in contention anyway. Just saying.
That is completely true. And I got to tell you, Michael, this is going to hurt. I've seen a lot of people come and go, and I just don't want that to happen to y'all. And if I didn't think you were talented and capable of being a successful business owner and successful realtor, we wouldn't be in business anyway. Okay. So, I mean, the last time I heard the success rates of realtors, that hopefully this will both scare the shit out of you and inspire you, is that 10% of newly licensed agents will still be in the business 1 year later. And 10% of those will be in the business three years later. So you line up 100 newly licensed agents, one of them will make it 3 years.
Wow. That's quite
Okay.
a statistic.
Now, I'm sure Keller Williams stats are better. I don't know those numbers, but I got to let you know, this can be a tough business. But if you show up to work every day, just like you would show up if you had a real job, I'm not insinuating we don't have a real job. We just have a different job, right? If you were to treat your business as seriously as you treated the work you did and your behavior when you showed up to work for somebody different, you guys would make so much money, you wouldn't even know what to do with yourself. I'm telling you. Okay, let me reintroduce you to this document here. Okay. I mean, guys, we have people making over $100,000 a month here. Does that not just like smack you in the face and be like, what the hell am I doing? Okay. This is a document called the Final PC 15. It's in the Google Drive. I'll go ahead and save it here just so it makes it nice and easy for everybody. And I'll put it in the announcements chat. So what we should have as a part of our business plan is kind of a daily list of what our expectations are, right? We add 3 people to the database. We add 1 person to the pipeline. We have X number of appointments each week. We have X number of calls each day. We make a post on social media every day. All the things that we have to do on a daily basis to be working, right? And what we do, give me 5 seconds. Aubrey's hit me up for something. Okay. What we need to do is, as we're tracking our numbers and as we're evaluating our progress, we need to say to ourselves, are we on track? And I'm going to ask you, there is only one way to find out if you're on track. Well, there's two things that are important. Number one is you got to know what the track is. And secondly, you got to know how you performed. Okay. Now, if you are behind on your goal, I want to draw this this document. It's called the 15th of the month protocol. Okay. So it says you identify a predetermined list of activities to be completed in the event an agent is not meeting goals midway through the month. Okay, this is the kind of a analogy, okay? Each month is like a football game, and the 15th is halftime. Excuse me, your coach is responsible for helping the team win. Do you want your coach to allow you to run the same play or change strategies to make certain that you get different results and win the second half? So let's go a tiny bit deeper there. So I'm your football coach. All y'all are the football players. And we prepare and we plan for our game on Sunday, and we go out for our game on Sunday, and we've got all of our plays, and we figured out what they're, watch the video and all that kind of stuff. And then we're getting our ass kicked, okay, badly. Okay, and then it's halftime. Do you want me to just go into the locker room and say, y'all just keep doing what you're doing, we'll be good? Or do you want me to say, hey guys, clearly that plan didn't work. Here's the new plan. Which would you prefer? Come on, that's an easy question. Somebody give me the answer.
Yeah, we need the new plan.
We need the new plan, yes. Okay, so here's an example of the new plan. Okay, if you are below 50% of your goal by the 15th of the month, the agent must complete 3 tasks from the list each day until you are back on track. This goes to that idea of when we're behind, do we change the activities or do we change the goal? Say, 4 appointments is what I really wanted, but if I just do 2, that'll be okay. That ain't gonna that's not reaching your potential, and you know it. And that is letting the people that count on you down. Okay. Many of us have spouses and children and aging parents, and guys, life is just gonna get more and more expensive. Gene, I'm taking a class pretty much all day with Gene Rivers today. And Gene, Gene's in a, he's earned it, but he's in a different kind of class all to himself, right? At one point, his sick mother, in order to get the care that the family thought she deserved and that she really wanted, that was her primary wish as she was aging, it cost over $170,000 a year. Okay. And this was 5-6 years ago. It's probably twice that now. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself, like, money isn't everything, but it sure solves a lot of problems, right? Wouldn't it be nice if you could just write that check and not think about it? Now that's a big thing. What if you were, what if you got some medicine that cost a couple $100 a month and you're like, I can't afford that. Wouldn't it be nice just to buy what you need and move on? So this is how it happens, right? We refuse to change the goal, and instead we change our activities. Okay, so here's an example of some of these behaviors. We add one, and by the way, this is like, you sit down at your desk and you got your 411 in front of you, and each day you're running this plan. If you're behind on your goals, it's kind of like you go to the drawer and you pull out the 15th of the month protocol, and this is the new plan, right? It's automatic. So let's do this. Let's add 1 hour of lead generation to our schedule each day. Let's schedule a lunch with a vendor who can send us referrals. Let's send 50 texts to our database checking in, or video text maybe. Let's record a market update video and post it to social media. Guys, we have tons of data. We went over the market overview yesterday, right? Record your presentations and review with your accountability partner. So let me ask you a tough question. Do you have an accountability partner? And does that accountability partner deserve to keep their job? Right? Okay. Double the amount of times you and your accountability partner speak. Maybe you and your accountability partner only meet Fridays, and half the time you're busy and you don't even meet. Right? Maybe you need to text each other every day. How'd you do? Did you add your 3? Did you add your 3? For a long time, I used to, as TL, I was, one of my accountability partners was the TL in South Forsyth. And every day at 5 o'clock, how many did you set? How many did you hire? Right? How many did you set? How many did you hire? Right? And I knew that text was coming and she's really good. So I didn't want to like not respond, and I didn't want to say 0 either. Right? So do you need to pick up your accountability partner relationship? Do you need to raise the bar on the standards of your partner? Okay. Maybe a weekday open house, Thursday night open house, Tuesday night open house, right? Is that unheard of? It's pretty rare. Do you think it's kind of cool? Do you think people might walk in the door and say, hey, never seen an open house on Tuesday? Well, that's because you never worked with Bill Linkwald. How can I help you? See what I'm saying? Okay, contact 50 FISBOs or 20 FISBOs, contact 20 expireds, add an evening lead generation, right? Many of us are making calls in the morning. Look, if I'm a school teacher, I'm never going to answer your phone at 10 o'clock. It's just not going to happen. So if you want me, you're going to have to get me after hours. So do you have time after hours, let's say like maybe twice a month or something, where you make calls from 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 or something like that? If I'm a judge or I'm a surgeon or I'm a teacher or something of that nature, you're never going to catch me during a 9 to 11 call time. Does that make sense? Okay. 50 handwritten notes to the database, 50 short CMAs in a bag as door hangers. I won't put you on the spot, Markia, but would you be willing a little bit later this week to share what you and I were looking at yesterday? That's an example of a short CMA. Okay, it's like
I was gonna ask you that, Bill. Is there a good sample that you can share with us that we can kind of use as a model?
Markia, would you be open to sharing yours at some point today, maybe on the chat?
Are you referring to the flyer that I made on design?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So she'll send an example. Another way that I've seen it done successfully is like a one sheet that's kind of got something like, you know, home number 1, you know, 102% of list price, 4 days on the market. Home number 2, you know, 101% of list price, 3 days on the market. Home number 3, 100% of list price, 1 day on the market. Homes are selling faster than you ever imagined. You may be able to get more from your home than you thought you could. Would you like to learn more? Call me, right? And it's got all your contact information. You stop by, you knock on the door. Hey, there's a lot of information out in the marketplace and there's a lot of misinformation in the marketplace right now. So because I work with people in this community, I just wanted to call, show up at your door and introduce myself, hand you a little note about some of the activity in your marketplace. And then you can ask those 3 questions, right? You know, we are at an extreme shortage of listings. So I wouldn't be doing my job if, because we've got buyers, my peers, the people in the office, we've got buyers that we're trying to find homes for. So is there when was the last time you thought about selling? Is there any set of circumstances that might cause you to want to sell your home right now? Right? Next question, who do you happen to know that's looking to sell their home or to move that our team can help? And then third question, hey, while I'm standing here, I got to ask you, when it comes to real estate, who is it that you trust? Oh, don't trust anyone? Wonderful. I would love an opportunity to earn that responsibility. Do you have any questions today? Right? We have this awesome new technology called the neighborhood nurture. Could I set you up on that? Okay, great. So what is the best email for you? And what is the best cell phone number for you? Thank you so much. I'll have that set up for you. And then you write them a handwritten note because you obviously know where they live and they go in your database. And if they express some interest in doing something, they may even go in your pipeline, right? Imagine if you did that 50 times. Okay. Now, here's another thing. If below 75% of your goal this should help you catch up a bit, I would assume, right? But if you're 75% behind in your goal by the 21st, the agent must complete the following tasks. A bold 100 daily until the appointments are held. Is that a sacrifice you'd be willing to make? And if you're trying to decide whether you're willing to make that sacrifice, I want you to try to take yourself back to when you decided to get a real estate license and the lifestyle and the life you thought you could achieve by growing a real estate business. and all the people that you were going to help and all the impact you were going to make and all the dollars you were going to cash, right? Are you reaching your potential right now? If not, get on the phone and call 100 people every single day until you set those appointments. Because look, these goals are important. Okay, you said it yourself. Record your presentation again with your accountability partner. Tweak it. Double again the number of times that your accountability partners speak. Get a text at lunchtime. Hey, how'd your morning session go? Get a text at 7. Hey, did you meet anyone else since we talked 6 hours ago? I know your goals are critical. I know your daughter wants to go to college and I know you don't want her to have debt. That's why I'm texting you right now. Okay. And maybe add another evening lead generation session to your calendar. Okay. Did I piss anyone off today? Every once in a while, we got to go in this direction, I think, right?
Like every 15th of the month.
It's
Right.
good to hear. You know what? Why is everyone here? To get fluffy, warm hugs or to get a
Guys,
little bit
you're in the wrong room if that's why.
improvement?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully everyone's wearing their big girl pants and big boy pants and they can accept it. And it's here for help, right? That's why we're all here.
Yeah.
Great comment. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I again, I only say all of these things. Number one, I want you to have the resources and I want you to think like a business owner, right? If there's one thing, I mean, there's literally thousands of things, but probably the most important thing that has changed my life since I came to Keller Williams is the way I think. Okay. And that's what they say leadership is. Leadership is helping your people think the way they need to think so that they can get whatever they want whenever they want it. Make sense? So whatever you want, that's up to you. Whenever you want it, that's up to you. My job is to help you think about it differently so you're on pace for it. Okay. And to push you every once in a while to say, come on, I know you can talk to more than 5 people a day, right? Right? I don't think that's reaching your potential. That's what the coach does. I got to tell you, I have not had a fitness coach ever. And this fitness coach is changing a lot. He's changing the way I think so that I can coach y'all better. I'm like, I'm done with these pull-ups. He's like, bullshit. You give me 3 more. You see what I'm saying? And I got it in me. I just didn't want to do it. And many of you have it in you. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. Does that make sense? All right, guys. This is fun.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, let me give you one quick update. Isn't that, I feel like I shouldn't have prepared this, but isn't that class with the Mastering the Art of Questions today?
I think it's 10 o'clock today. I know that
Yes.
because it's the exact same time as my appointment.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys, I've met that woman before. I've taken this class with her before. She is really, really good. Really, really good.
I don't suppose that's going to be recorded anywhere, is it?
I'm suspecting it probably will be recorded. But I'm going to encourage everyone to attend that. It's completely free. It's really, really good. Okay. The better you get at asking questions, the better you will understand your prospects and the better you will be able to serve them. Okay. So I'm going to encourage everyone to go to that. Now it's 10 o'clock and on, which means you're probably going to lose a little lead gen time. So I'm going to make a request of you. Whenever you commit to something that is kind of unusual that pops into your schedule or whatever, you got to look and say, hey, I got a commitment to add 3 people to my database today and talk to X number of people so I can get on track. So when is that going to happen? Does that mean I make calls from 5 to 6 today? Does that mean I add an hour on Sunday to my call time? Right. So when you replace something or when you erase something, I always thought this was corny, but when you erase it, right, you need to put it back in your calendar. You need to replace it. Okay. All right, y'all. I love being in business with you. Let's go. Let's push each other today. Okay. See you soon.
Thank you for the support.
Thanks, Bill.